Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, depending on where you are in the world today. Welcome to another Verbling class. Today's class, describe what you see. I'll be showing images to students. Here we go. Hello, good morning.
Hi,
Hi, Jongming, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thanks. Where are you from?
I'm from South Korea, but I'm living in New York now.
Oh, New York, so it's not good morning then, it's good evening. Or yeah, it's
Yeah,
evening.
that's why I was sort of confused. You know what? Yeah.
Well, I thought you might be from Asia, and if you were, then there's a good chance it was morning.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, in Asia, this should be morning, and yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
so welcome.
Thank you.
Is this your first Verbling class or your first class with me?
Yeah, this is my first Dublin class, and yeah, so.
Excellent. Well, you'll get about at least 5 to 7 minutes of talk time during the class,
Mhm.
but it's important to listen to the other students as well. I'll be
Sure.
showing pictures,
Mhm.
and the goal is to describe what comes to mind. So and don't just look at the image,
Mhm.
tell us what you think.
Okay.
All right, so we'll get to that shortly.
Mhm.
And Carolina, welcome.
Hi, teacher, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. And how are you today?
I am good, thank you. Thank you for asking.
What's the weather like there today?
It's a little bit gloomy because maybe it'll rain, maybe it's not going to rain. I don't know.
I'm
It's a
jealous.
little bit, cold, colder.
Yeah, I wish I was there.
If you want, come,
Yeah, because it's
come
a lot
to visit.
hotter here. It's 93 degrees. Well, it's 89 right now.
Oh my God,
Yeah,
it's
so
too
it's
hot,
yeah, too hot. I don't
too
like it.
hot.
Way too hot. So, well, I'm glad you could make it, Carolina. We'll get started shortly. I just want to say hi to everybody.
Okay.
Good evening, Amp.
Hi, teacher.
Hi.
How are you today?
Doing well, thank you. What about you?
Good. I'm hot here. It's just so hot today.
Really? How much? 31?
I don't know what that is, but it's around, it got as high as 93 degrees.
93.
Yeah, I use Fahrenheit. It's makes more sense.
Yeah.
It's the only thing the metric system got wrong was Celsius or temperature. When you have to start
It's
talking temperature and using fractions, there's something wrong.
definitely.
All right. Well, thank you, Am. Glad you could join us. And I see Juan Carlos joined us as well. Hello, Juan Carlos.
Hi, Simon. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Are you having a good week?
Yes, with a lot of job, with a lot of exercise as well. We are beginning a training in the company, but a good week, it looks like.
Good. Excellent. I'm glad to hear that. And I see who else just joined us. We have German. Hello, German.
Hey Simon, nice to see you.
Good to see you as well, buddy. I hope you're having a good week.
Oh, yeah, it's a normal week, yeah.
Excellent. And Antonio, hello.
Hello. Hello.
Where are you from, Antonio?
I'm from Spain, the south
So
of Spain.
yeah, it's very late there right now.
Yes.
Well, I tell you what I'm going to do, guys. I'm rushing the intros a little bit because I want to give you guys more time to talk. So let me explain the rules briefly, as this is a new class for some of you. I'm going to show you an image. And I'll show each student a separate image. So as you can see in this image here, I will ask each of you to talk to tell me what comes to mind when you see the image. I don't necessarily want you to describe the image, but I want you to describe what you're thinking of, what comes to mind. It could be related to the image, but I don't want you to describe the details of the image, which we've done before. So again, what comes to mind? So I'm going to start with Amp. Now, you're going to hear a noise after AMP speaks, and it's going to sound like this. What that sound means is your time is up, so kindly stop talking, and then I'll go to the next student. The first round, everybody gets a minute, and then the next round, I'll allow you guys up to 2 minutes if you'd like. All right, so AMP, you've got a minute. What comes to mind when you see this image?
A smart guy, but really arrogant, that he suffered from a degenerative sickness, and the way that he have to communicate with people is through the software that he used, and he even that with that kind of sickness that he had, he still work for himself, and he's still considered one of the most intelligent men around the world. And he has the difficulties to move, even though he have two marriages, and he have their son and a daughter, and that he's in care of him now. Yes, this guy still have conferences.
Thank you very much. So yeah, very interesting story behind this man. His name is Stephen Hawking. All right, thank you very much. Anna, you're up next, even though you just joined us. Your image is, oh, going too fast here. This is your image. So the rules are a little different today. Don't describe exactly what you see. Tell me what you're thinking when you see the image. What comes to mind? Go ahead, please. You've got a minute.
Okay. The first thing that comes to my mind when I saw this kind of picture is the willpower that some people have, because they are trying to survive a flood. And I also think of global warming and all natural disasters that we've been experiencing nowadays. And well, I can see two sides of the mankind, you know.
Mm-hmm.
A bad side, that is our greediness, because we've been destroying the nature, and the other side that is.
Thank you. Thank you, Anna. Yeah, that's a very good point. I never thought of it. It's two sides that we see in humanity. Antonio, you've got a minute. What comes to mind when you see this image?
Well, I see an image which is related with the first image. The first image is a sentence. In this image, we can see, I think, a bit of his theory. I think it's a theory, I don't know, but maybe it's related to the Big Bang.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I can see like the planet, the Earth planet with water. Then it's not started the Big Bang, but it's like a meteoric against to the Earth, but I prefer don't see in that. Well, it's like an explosion where the planet is destroyed.
Thank you, Antonio. I like the first thing you said. It kind of reminds you of the Big Bang because, well, we don't know what's going on here. Obviously, it's some sort of water planet. Doesn't look like the Earth. All you see are clouds, but it's definitely some sort of explosion. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Oh, we've got two Antonios. Okay. So,
oh, sorry.
now let's see. Now who was just talking? Which Antonio was talking?
Yes, me.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
That's who I thought was talking. Okay, So Antonio, without a picture, I'm showing an image here. Could you please tell me what comes to mind when you see this picture?
There's Antonio. Okay, good night. I can see an skyscraper.
Skyscraper.
Skyscraper, and there are several buildings. All of them are very high. I think the city could be Miami or city of the Middle East because there are trees typical of countries of hot weather. And they take the picture. It's a sunny day, and we could see a park in front of the person who took the picture, take the picture, and some trees.
Thank you. So yeah, it's that's actually in the Middle East. I'm thinking Dubai, but no, I don't think it's Dubai. But it almost looks fake there. It's so tall, so huge but that is real. All right, Carolina, this is your image. What comes to mind when you see this image?
Okay, I saw in that picture that is a city, is a bunch of cars on the street. Maybe it's a crowded city, as a big city like Bogota. Also a clear night, so it's a good night for go to the parties. And I saw that in this building is a kind of officer building, because because I don't see any kind of furniture, or maybe there are desks or something like that inside of that building. I don't see people. I don't know what is the people in that picture. Maybe working or in the party. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe they're all heading home. It's evening time, I think. So
yeah.
Hard to say. Thank you very much, Carolina. German, what's going on in this image here? Or sorry, what comes to mind when you see this image?
Okay, sorry for the inconvenience. We are trying to change the world. Okay, this kind of picture reminds me that we need to improve the way that we live in the world, and there is many organizations or ONG like Greenpeace, and they protest every day for different things. But some of these protests are okay, I agree with them, and others I'm against, because some of them are damage is necessary because we need to survive, but in other hand we can improve and make some changes and try to save the nature. And I think this kind of people is good because they are always caring about the nature and are always trying to protect it.
Thank you, German. Yeah, very interesting. That was one of the last images I spotted before class. Thank you very much. Okay, so this image, Zhongming, what comes to mind when you see this image? What does it remind you of?
It seems like they they are sort of focused on something, I don't know, yeah. And then they look like some students in Asia. And also, I don't know, they are wearing some uniform.
Yeah.
And I guess that also I'm thinking that I'm thinking of World Bank, because the file name says, worldbank.jpg or something. So maybe that's from some, global organization or particularly, like banking institution or something. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking of.
Nicely put.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. You sound like a very analytical person.
Yeah, I'm an analyst actually.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Zhongming. Juan Carlos, when you see this image, what comes to mind?
The first thing that comes to my mind is a dinner with my family, with my wife and my kids, enjoying our anniversary or their birthday, and just drinking wine and eating Italian food that we loved eating Italian food, and just enjoying, smiling, talking about some reminders about our future. We have kids, young kids, and just to enjoy and to live the the moment regarding as a family, uh, yeah, as a family, and just sharing the table with eating a lot of food, maybe.
Yeah, I like that image you build for us. Thank you very much. All right, Ming Ming, you've got a minute. What comes to mind when you see this image?
Wow. Um, I don't see this image very often. My mind is
What do you
blank.
think of when you see it?
Think of the sea, yes. Or maybe I'm thinking of the cruise boat, the very big one. Is it called boat or
Cruise
ferry?
ship.
Yeah. Yes, cruise ship. Yeah. And then so from that, it links to a journey, probably a very a luxury voyage around Europe. That's what people normally the elders they do. Yeah, like a holidays.
And the Caribbean as well.
But I don't think about that.
No, it's right. This is about what you were thinking. Thank you very much, Ming Ming. All right, guys, that's our first round. Now, for the second round, I can give you guys 2 minutes or 1 minute. I'm going to start with AMP and move across. Obviously, if you're towards the middle or end, it takes longer to get to you. But again, you should be listening when the other students are talking, because that will help you with your English too. Don't just go off and do other things. If you would like 2 minutes in group chat, type 2. If you would like a minute, type 1. At the end of 10 seconds, whichever has the most votes, that's the time I'll set. 1 for 1. Anyone else? 2 for 1. All right. 3 for 1 and 1 for 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so it looks like the ones are going to have it. All right, so we'll do 1 minute. Definitely 1 minute now. All right, so here's our next image. AMP, what comes to mind when you see this image?
An strange airplane. Maybe a prototype or something, or maybe one that is used in a war, but it's not a commercial model. It has missiles under the wings, and probably I don't know how fast it can fly because of the many wings that it has. The model is not the traditional one, and it's just for maybe the 2 passengers in the cabin and maybe 1 in back.
Thank you. Yeah, this is what we would call a fighter aircraft, or just a fighter for short. Unfortunately, it's a weapon of war. or an instrument of war, not a weapon of war, an instrument of war. Though it would be really cool if these were small commercial planes, we probably couldn't afford the flight because they're very fast, and for just 2 people, it would be expensive. All right, thank you very much. Anna, what comes to mind when you see this image? Don't say teacher.
Okay. When I see Albert Einstein, I think of a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
I think of the theory of relativity and the possibility of traveling to time, space, and to break that barrier. And also I think of his wife, Mileva Marici, and I wonder why he gave the money to her when he won the Nobel Prize, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And also I think that people sometimes label children because we know that he was unable to speak 2, 3 years old, and his teachers.
Thank you. It's too bad. I didn't have more time to speak, but yeah, very interesting gentleman. Couldn't speak till 3. My son's only 14 months and can't speak, so I consider that a good sign then. All right, next, Antonio with the picture. You get this image. What comes to mind when you see this image, Antonio?
Me?
Antonio with the picture. That's you, yes.
Okay. Well, we can see a car who is seems the plane, but by road. In the case, I think it's a car which could be to go very fast. I think it's the BMW, very sportive car, supercar. B-Place is the name of two person could be in this car. What I think is very expensive.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah, and it's very nice. The light is like a purple. Also, I think it's clear the light.
It is. Thank you very much, Antonio. And now for Antonio without the picture. What comes to mind when you see this odd image?
Okay, we could see a bag of chips. The bag is yellow and belongs to a very famous brand of chips, and the other bag, I don't know who is inside. It's like a sweet with a hole inside. They have a shape of wheels, but I don't know what kind of sweets. It's
Fruit Loops is what we call them.
I don't know.
No, they're called Fruit Loops.
I don't know. Both of them have the same system to open the bag. I don't know this kind of system, but I think it's properly to keep the.
Thank you, Antonio. Yeah, I don't know what that is either. I haven't seen it, but it looks very convenient. All right, next, Carolina. What comes to mind when you see this image?
I don't know who is she, but she looks beautiful and she looks smart, and she also looks like prepared for some kind of speech. I think that for the people behind of her, maybe she's a talkative show. How can I say that? She's a presenter of any
okay.
kind.
In the US, we'd call it a host. In the UK, it would be a presenter.
Okay. Maybe she's a host or a presenter. and she is in the middle of his 30s. And how can I say more?
You can't. You've run out of time.
Okay,
Very well
sorry.
done, Carolina. Yeah, I don't know who she is either, but
this was my question.
yeah, no. The whole purpose of this class is not really to know what you're seeing, but to be able to describe with as much detail as you can.
Okay.
All right, so
thank you.
that's very boring picture German. What comes to mind when you see this image?
Okay, these are two worked farmers, and this picture reminds me the X-Files. I don't know why, but I am watching the X-Files now by Netflix.
I love your mind.
And always this kind of situations happens in the country, in huge places and strange places with small towns with a few people, and always all is very strange. But more seriously, this kind of image reminds me that we need this kind of people in doing this work, this job, and because we can eat their products, and they take care of the farm and the cows, and our milk becomes from there. And I don't know.
Thank you, German, for the wonderful description of the X-Files. All right, next, Zhongming, what comes to mind when you see this image?
Okay, I think it's part of some performance that these people are conducting, and it seems like they are, I don't know, they are expressing something something liberating, or I don't know, like just something something hard to say, but yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, it seems like so. That guy is lifting those four girls, but but frankly speaking, technically that shouldn't be true, right?
Technically, that can be correct if you take a purely analytical look at it. Yes.
Yeah. That's so what I'm thinking. So yes, but it looks beautiful though. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, this could be a ballet, a musical, some sort of dance recital. It's hard to say, but thank you for that description. Somebody was talking about a cruise ship earlier, and looks like Juan Carlos gets to not talk about that. All right. So
I was thinking my plan to tell you, but okay, no.
All right, go ahead, please.
Okay. It's a very interesting animal, because I read something about it, and it is he eats how can I say eucalypt, most of eucalyptus, most of it food, and I read that this animal, this koala, is not friendly. I read in any topic you need to work a lot with it, and you can there is not a lot of koalas in the zoo. There is in the world, sorry, and I think it's come from Australia, if I am correct. But when you see a koala, it looks like it's very friendly.
Yeah, they are, and they definitely are made in Australia.
Okay.
Thank you, Juan Carlos. Ming Ming, you're next, and you have this image, and I don't know what's going on here. I thought it was strange and interesting at the same time, so here it is. You've got a minute.
Okay, so what comes to my mind first was my childhood, when my parents usually took me to a zoo. And from there, it was the first time I see an elephant in person, like with my own eyes. Oh, what?
Go ahead.
Okay. And now what I'm seeing is an elephant, a baby elephant playing with a ball. It actually reminds me of one of the article I read about researchers. They usually try to wait, because they try to they try to study about animals, animals' brains, how they think and how they do things. So it's probably one of the experiments.
Yeah, but I'd say elephants aren't very smart because usually you have goalposts at opposite ends of each other. And by the way, Anna, elephants aren't furry. Maybe the Brazilian ones are, but the rest of the world, we don't have furry elephants.
I'm sorry, we were talking about koalas, teacher.
I know, I'm just teasing you. Actually, we used to have furry elephants. We call them mammoths. All right, guys, we're ready for the next round. I want to keep doing what we're doing. Don't describe literally what you see, but what it makes you think of. So, Amp, we're over to you. Go ahead, please.
Okay, this couple is just taking a sun bath in the middle of a bench in front of the river, and they are someone else taking pictures. They are just showing off their computers, really slim computers, really thin, and they look like Asian people, and probably they are on vacation, the summertime, because of the clothes, and it's a city with big buildings, tall buildings, and the background is also it's the mountains. Probably it's a little cloudy. It's not completely sunny.
Thank you very much. All right, Zhongming, the article really depends on how you're describing zoo. If you're talking about any particular zoo in general, it would be a zoo. Animals are kept at a zoo. But if I wanted to talk about the zoo, for example, in Toronto, have you been to the zoo? I'm referring to a specific zoo, even though I haven't mentioned the name, everyone knows I'm talking about the local one. All right, thank you. Anna, so last student, we were going to let them look at the cruise ship, and once again, no, I'm going to let you talk about the cruise ship. You've got a minute, Anna.
Okay.
What comes to mind?
What comes to my mind? I imagine myself going on a cruise and going on a trip around the world. And also, I wish I could have a bigger boat. I have a 30-feet size boat, but I want a bigger one. And I think of this craving for consumption that we have. We are never satisfied. We want more and more, always. We would say that I'm not materialistic, but everyone in the world is longing for money and more money, always. I don't know why.
I don't know.
Maybe because we have to pay for everything.
Well, I think part of it is just we all like shiny objects, and we're in a throwaway society. But that's just my thought. All right, Antonio with a picture. What comes to mind when you see this image?
Okay, well, we can see a lot of people who are carrying his or her bag. For that, I think is provoked by a natural disaster. Unfortunately, I think it's in Africa, because the kind of people is about that song, but it's a poor situation because it's sad to see a lot of children in this situation. Well, every people in this situation is a bad situation. It's necessary to help this person because I think they haven't any water, any.
Yeah, obviously this is a mass exodus of people. Well, that's never good. People are never running to something. They're usually running away from something. All right, thank you very much. Antonio, without a picture, here's your image. What comes to mind when you see this image?
Okay, we could see two people. One of them is very, very high, and the other is very, very short. The high man is wearing a suit and tie, and he had next to him a big amount of books. I don't know why. He's sitting in an armchair, and the other one is wearing a kind of clothes, probably from typical clothes of his country, and he is looking at the tall man. I think he looked at him because he's wearing blue socks and dark suit. I don't think it's in fashion.
No, he should really be wearing black socks, and that's probably why the other gentleman is looking at him. I agree completely. All right, thank you very much, Antonio. And Carolina, what comes to mind when you see this picture?
Teacher, another picture. I already described a woman.
That's true. Why do you want a different picture?
Because I don't want to describe another woman.
Okay, well, go ahead with this image then.
Oh my God, this is a beautiful land case. I think it's an island with an isolated beach and also a lot of jungle behind the beach. So that is my perfect place to go on vacation. I can imagine myself in that place, and also I see a lot of small ships, maybe some fishermen's fishing some fish for food or for his kids. And
thank you. It reminds me of Hawaii.
Yeah.
Probably because a lot of all the crazy sci-fi shows are filmed in Hawaii.
The show Lost, maybe?
Lost definitely was shown there, yes. And I'm wondering, trying to remember right now what others were shown as well. But I can't remember because I'm trying to focus on class. Thank you, Carolina. And next we have German. German, what comes to mind when you see this?
I don't know. What is that?
It looks like a cross between a possum and a hamster.
It could be a hamster, yeah. But this kind of image reminds me the nature, of course, and the animals. And some little animals are very cute, especially for women. Also, this image reminds me that something that said a couple of days ago, because in the country they eat a little pig, the guinea pig. I think it's very weird because it's a very cute animal, but it's okay. It's just food. And what else? The picture is very nice. The colors are very nice too. I think this animal is very soft.
And cuddly. I know, it's adorable. I don't care what Amp says. It's so cute. Yes, it is. You're such a cute, you little hamster. That's right. All right. Now I'm going to show you something that isn't cute. All right. So, Jungmin, what comes to mind when you look at this image?
It looks like a hawk, but obviously this is a helicopter.
Yeah.
And also, I don't know why it is built. I mean, looking like that, but yeah, it looks cool somehow. Also, I don't know, like where it is used for, why, like.
Would you fly in it?
Yeah, definitely. I don't know. I don't know about that. But I don't know. Is this just for tourist attraction or something, or
I think it's somebody who had too much free time.
too much free time? Yeah, maybe.
Thank you, Jongmin.
Okay.
All right, Juan Carlos. What comes to mind when you see this image?
Las Vegas. Oh.
Why Las Vegas?
No, that is not Las Vegas. The first thing that it's come to my mind is when you are in a classroom, when you are in your job, and all the people are having a good day, and for any reason you have a bad day for the job, because it's happened when you have a bad day and you are not happy, and all the people around you are very happy by their achievement, the day, the sun, the weather, or wherever. You feel really different about your group, and that's look like you are in a different way about your group. But it could be just you can change for the same color and the same attitude for the rest of the group.
Thank you. Very interesting. Very interesting commentary. Thank you. All right, Ming Ming, your image is this one. What comes to mind when you see this image?
A happy man. Yeah. I think he's a quite famous actor, isn't he? But
yes.
I don't know him. Yeah, but I don't know him. And his hairstyle reminds me of what is the billionaire in America, and he's running for president.
Oh,
2016.
Yeah. I think his name's Dumbass. I mean.
Yeah, Donald Trump.
Donald Trump. That's it. Sorry, I got his nickname mixed up.
I heard that. That's good to know. Yeah. So now my mind totally occupied by Donald Trump. I hope he didn't get it, and I think I'm pretty sure that he won't get it in 2016, become a president. And are you American as well?
No, I'm British and Canadian.
Oh, okay, sorry. I mixed up with your accent, but yeah, I see any American president's election, they always have some funny guy, and this year it's gonna be Donald Trump. No, it is.
Thank you, Ming Ming. Appreciate your comment. Very interesting, and it's interesting for each of us here. We look at the U.S. election differently than Americans, of course. We always kind of think of who's the best president for the rest of the world, not who's the best president for America, or the U.S., I should say. Because Canada is America too, so is Brazil, so is Peru, but somehow the Yanks have commandeered that word to be their very own. We're part of America too.
Oh, really? You mean who's gonna be American president can affect on your country and other countries as well?
It does.
The policy?
I'm sorry, I do have to go on because we've only got about 16 minutes left, and I'm going to go back to Anna. Yeah. Oh, we could have a great political conversation too. It's too bad. So Anna, what comes to mind? No, sorry, Amp. What comes to mind when you see this image?
Probably from a movie. It's just like a draw. With a couple of horses there. It's a place that is small, but it seems warm in the middle of dry. But in the middle of this, there is like a hope with this tree that is only the only one that is green, but the whole field is just brown, like dry. And it's a stormy day. The storm is coming. Probably the one of the horses have a broken neck, and the other is just trying to support it. The 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 horse. Maybe they are looking for a place to stay under the rain.
Thank you. Yeah, I find this image very striking. Yeah, but to me, it's almost as though I'm looking into somebody's mind. There's something strange about this image that just captivates me. All right, Anna, you've got a minute. Tell me about this image. What comes to mind?
Okay. Um, what comes to my mind, I feel how painful it must have been to put all those piercings in his face.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that he's trying to draw attention, or maybe to get rid of something that was traumatic. I don't know if he is a masochist. Masochist. I don't know how to say in English. Oh my gosh. But it's very weird, very odd, and I'm sorry if I sound biased, but I don't agree with this kind of things. I don't think it's normal. I don't think it's healthy, and that's all.
Yeah, and just imagine if he ever had to go through a CAT scan. That would be painful. Or, sorry, an MRI. Yeah, how would he wash his face? I guess he doesn't.
Yes.
Ugh. Anyhow, let's change to something completely different. No, we need something cute after that. All right. So, Antonio, what comes to mind when you see this image?
Well, we can see a child, a baby, with pears. Pears is the name of
Pear?
this fruit. Pear. Pear and apple. Red apples and green pear. He he's it seems he's more pay attention to the camera, to the to the pears, but we will need to see the continuation of the photo to know if the baby like the pears or not. I think he had the accumulate of the work, because if he he has to eat everything, I think.
All right. Thank you very much, Antonio. And Antonio, without a picture, what comes to mind when you see this image?
Okay, we could see, I think, a small city, because there are bikes parking on the left. In small cities, you could ride your bike to go everywhere, and I think this is a street market, and there are people with bags going for shops, or going for shopping, and it could be a city from Europe or USA or maybe Canada. Um, I don't know.
Right. Well, thank you. Your time is up, so perfect timing. Thank you very much. And we can see poppies in the trees, which is a similar a memorial to World War I. Very terrible, terrible time. All right, Carolina, what comes to mind when you see this image?
I think that A belongs to a cat, and as you know, at my picture, I love cats, so I think that is a mysterious cat. Maybe he is a little bit angry because his pupil is like a line, and when the pupil is a line, is because they are searching or trying to catch something. So, and I think that he only has one color in his fur, the black one, and also I feel that he's
Furry,
and cute, and no more, teacher.
Thank you. Yeah, at first when I saw this, I thought it might be a bird, but yeah, you're probably right. It probably is a cat.
Yeah.
Well done. Thank you very much. All right, next we have German. German, what goes on? What are you thinking when you see this beautiful, beautiful, stunningly high contrast image?
Yeah, that picture reminds me of the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Because of the landscape are very similar. Also, I went to New Zealand and the landscape are like that one. The country is very beautiful. I think you can live there without worries, but I don't know how to get food because this is very far away from everything. But it's a very beautiful landscape. It's like a paradise. The weather seems to be pretty good all the time. The mountains are big and perfect. You can practice climbing there. That could be a little dangerous.
Or practice fall.
And yeah, or skydiving. I don't know. There is.
Thank you, German. Yeah, I think of New Zealand too because that's where Lord of the Rings is filmed and where I lived once some time ago. This is going to be one of my favorite images. Zhongming, what comes to mind when you see this image?
It seems like she's pretty much enjoying, what she's doing. It's like some kind of painting festival or something. So she's got all the paintings, on her face and on her body, or basically everywhere. And yeah, and then it's got all the colors which I like, and also she seems, I think definitely she's enjoying, like just, she's like, if she's suffering, then I don't know. If she's suffering, then she probably looking sad or something. But yeah, so that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, she looks pretty as well.
All right. Thank you very much, Zhongming.
Okay.
All right. Next, what kind of image can I get for Juan Carlos? I could choose this one or this one. This one?
I think that one.
All right, this one. Go ahead. You've got 1 minute, Juan Carlos. Tell me what comes to mind when you see this image.
Well, obviously it's a city with a lot of technology and very busy city with a lot of stress there, with the people working quickly, stressing to get the car, get the transportation, and living in the apartment with a very, very, very busy city, but in contrast with a city without a lot of cultural offers like tourists, um, shows, and it have two sides to live in a city. You can find everything and everything with the dangerous things, and then another hand with a good offer to go to see a good movie, to go to see a good show, and that's it.
Thank you very much, Juan Carlos. Ming Ming, this image here, what comes to mind when you see this image? Ming Ming?
Oh, sorry, can you hear me?
I can now.
Okay, yeah. So what comes into my mind when I see this picture is autumn, my favorite season, when the weather wasn't too cold. The weather is not too cold, either too hot, and all the leaves change color from green to this beautiful color, yellow or a bit or red.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't have this much greenery back home in my country. And I always, when I see this image, I always think about maybe Europe or Australia. They have more of this.
Yeah, it's a stunning image. Although I think it happens to be photoshopped, that one there.
Oh, really? That's sad.
Yeah, I think so. If you look closely, you can see that. Well, we just sped through another class, guys. But good news is I have a ton of classes coming up. I know I keep saying this, but it's only for the month of August that this is happening because I'm on vacation, and I'm picking a few days a week, and I'm teaching classes from the morning to the evening. So I'm going to do that a couple of days of the week. But you'll still see classes occasionally on the weekend as well as in the evenings as well. So keep an eye on that. I've also added a project management class for Friday. I don't think it's this Friday. I think it's next Friday. I'm not sure. Maybe it is this Friday. Come to think of it, I think it is this Friday. It's a vocabulary class. But all my classes really focus on you guys doing most of the talking, getting you to speak in front of others to help reduce that shyness. Are there other classes you guys would like to see me teach? Because right now I'm more or less just teaching conversation-based classes. What I've taught grammar classes before, there doesn't seem to be as much interest in those. Anybody have a question regarding that?
Is there any classes to write better, to a better writer? I don't know if is there any dynamic to do that?
There might be from other teachers. I don't do it. I'll teach grammar, which will help with writing, but I don't necessarily teach writing.
Okay.
I find it's very hard to do in this format.
Right.
Role-playing, yes, you know what? I have done role-playing before, and I could very easily do a role-playing class German. So keep an eye out. I'll try and do that next week or the week after for sure. I'll introduce a role-playing class.
And the games that we did the last Friday.
Yes, you'll see some of those classes coming up. I have some game classes where it's 20 questions and guess the price of something. I also want to introduce Jeopardy. It's a class I taught a while ago, but I don't have a whiteboard, and I need a whiteboard for Jeopardy. Okay, so yeah, I can introduce other games too. So let me see if I can get myself a whiteboard, because, or I could use the TV. That's an idea too. I could probably look at using the TV to do Jeopardy. You know what? Let me work on that, guys. I'm going to see how I can do a Jeopardy game class, and then what I can do is introduce things such as movies, and we could have top 10 movies, top actors, stuff like that, right? We could play Jeopardy, movie Jeopardy. Hangman, I've done Hangman too. If you guys, I didn't think you guys would be interested in this, but yeah, I used to do Hangman all the time. I could do Hangman. All right.
Teacher.
Yes.
Have you seen the class that Nate used to teach us before.
No, I don't watch the other teachers.
There is a game called Blizzard. He used to send a message, a private message with a sentence or something like that, and we have to make other people guess without saying the words. You know, we can say other words or synonyms or describe it. You know, sometimes a phrase, sometimes a word.
Okay, so let me figure out how to do that, because that's a couple of good ideas. Role play, Hangman, and games like Blizzard and Jeopardy. So guys, thanks for the feedback. I'm going to look at adding those into classes coming up. So stay tuned. Thank you guys so much for coming tonight. I love having a class with you guys. I just wish we had more time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.